Hello, welcome back to Clair, Lune from Scratch. You probably noticed the room is a little bit brighter. I've had these studio lights actually for several years, but I just never bothered to bring them home from my office. They're home now, and I think they'll help to improve the video quality for the next couple of lessons. So be sure to let me know what you think. So anyway, hope this helps. So now we've just finished measure 30, and we're going to go to measure 31. And actually, we're going to do two measures at a time because measure 31 and measure 32 are very, very similar. So we can just kind of kill two birds with one stone. So let's go ahead. Here we are in the music. And as we do before, I'm going to go ahead and kind of copy these out. Let's take a look at this measure. And I won't bother copying measure 32 yet, but just know that as we return to this later, it will be the same material, so you don't have to worry about that. Let me move this down over here. Okay. And here we go. So now we're in this portion, and what we want to do is take a look at the left-hand portion and look at how we're going to play this. Now, unfortunately, the right hand is not going to come to the rescue as much with this passage as it was doing in the previous measures. And what that's going to involve is the left hand is going to have to stretch a little bit wider than you may be accustomed to. So it's going to involve a little more left hand jumping, unfortunately. But with a little bit of practice, you'll find it's not so bad. Okay, so let's take a look at this passage. Now, what we're going to do is probably isolate the left hand portions as such. And let me go ahead and just do it this way. I'll go ahead and cut out just the left hand portions from this page over here. Okay. Let's cut that out first. Go to our next, make it a little bit of blank spot. Try and move this down here. Okay, I hope you can see that all right. The thing keeps moving around. Let's give that a try. There you go. Now let's do that, and then we're going to take a look at, go back to our previous page and cut out this portion over here. There we go. Go to our next page, paste that over, resize that accordingly. Okay. All right, and let's go back to our previous page and do the last portion over here. Here, this is going to be a little more unusual because we're going to actually have to do more than the other two portions we just copied over. You'll see what I mean in just a second. All right. So let's quickly take a look at just the left-hand notes really fast. And let's map out the notes quickly. Remember, F clef down here, bass, we have F. Fall down, ball. Now this is going to be an A or an A flat over here. Okay. Fall, and here this is an E or an E flat. Okay. Now here, take a look at this. Fall going up, that's going to be a G from F to G. Notice the flat over here, so that's going to be G flat. Okay. And then moving up from the G flat, G, A, B. Okay. So G flat here, and then B flat over here. Okay. Now, the way we're going to finger this is we're going to have to kind of stretch our hands open wider than an octave. Okay. And so this is what we're going to do. Let me just write the fingering out this way. We're going to have kind of a key finger on the bottom, and then we're going to have to kind of leap up to a shorter, smaller kind of chord grouping. This is what we're going to do. Okay. So the key finger in the left, in the bottom here is going to be this fifth finger that will kind of place us on that note over here. Okay, so you have your fifth finger on this A flat, okay? And then you're going to have to kind of stretch your hand open. My hand is small. Some of you may have larger hands, so this is not going to be an issue. But for those of you with smaller hands, we're going to have to kind of think of the left hand in kind of two groups. This bottom note and then these three top notes over here, the E flat, G flat, and B flat, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of think of this as kind of a group like that. And let's just kind of write down the fingerings here. I'm going to use a 3, 2, and a 1. So it's going to look like this. Okay? Let's go on to the next portion over here. And this note over here, let's quickly find out. Fall down, ball, game. This is all the way down to a G or G flat. Okay? Now this grouping over here is even further apart. Since we're moving apart, now we're moving further down. Okay? Now we have to find this note over here. Let's find that quickly. Fall down, that's a D flat over here. Okay? D flat, F, G flat. You notice these two notes over here and these two notes are the same. G flat and B flat over here. See that? Okay. And we're going to use on the left hand, okay, we're going to still stick with jumping down to a fifth finger for this bass note over here. But for the top notes now, okay, because we're sharing these two top notes, we had an E flat previously, now we're moving down to this D flat over here. Notice the change? Let me see if I can help mark that. Here we're at an E flat, now we're moving to a D flat. So because of that slightly wider change, we're going to move to a fourth finger now. 2, 1. See how that works? Okay, so from the previous one, 3, 2, 1. Now 4, 2, 1. Okay. Now don't worry about the disconnection. The pedal will help connect all of those notes through. Okay, we'll work on that in just a bit. Okay. Now the next one over here is the trickiest one. What we're going to do is we're going to change our patterns a little bit. So instead of having this kind of this launch note from the bottom, we're going to think of these three as a unit, okay? And then we're going to have to do a little bit of hand gymnastics for these last two, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second, okay? So for here, the left hand, quickly find these notes. Fall, down, ball, game. That's an F down here, okay? F, fall, down. That's a C. That's an F over here, okay? If you notice, we've got our old octave pattern back again, okay? And we're going to finger that accordingly. 5, 2, 1, okay? And what we're going to have to do, okay, we're going to have to move our hand, use our thumb, pivot over it to play the top two notes over here. Okay, let's find those two notes really quickly. F, G, A, that's an A flat over here. Okay, A flat, B, going to the first legend line, it's a C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my second and first finger over. So the thumb is going to be a little bit busy. All right, so take a look at again the left hand part. 4. Now this pattern, 5, 2, 1, 2, 1. We have extra notes down there. Okay, see how that works? Okay, and so that's the left hand part. Let's just take a look at just the left hand here. In the next lesson, we'll add in the remaining right hand notes. And again, the fortunate thing is that this measure will be duplicated in measure 32 as well. So we can kind of have both of those measures learned by the time we finish the next lesson. Okay, so I'll see you at the next lesson.